Real talk with Auntie K. Yeah, it's that time of the week again. This time we're talking time. And are you using it wisely? A good way to see if you're using it wisely is if you have time to get done everything you need to get done by the end of the day. We all have the same amount of time. So how you use it makes a difference. And yeah, the super rich might have a lot of staff to help them manage time. But there are a lot of people who manage it correctly without all that extra help. So being somewhat of a kind of anal retentive nerd type, I have a couple tips to help you manage time. You're not going to like number one, but it makes a difference. Get up a half hour earlier, go to sleep a half hour later. And it's an hour that you're adding to your day. My only caveat if you do this is that you need to do it with a plan. So you think, I'm getting up a half hour earlier so that I can take a 20-minute walk. I'm staying up a half hour later so that I can meditate or so that I can prepare for the next day as far as clothes, as far as food, or I'm staying up a half hour later so I can get a little cleaning done. Have a plan for what you want to do with that extra time. Another thing you can do is use your phone. On your phone, you have a clock. And yeah, I mean an actual clock app, not just looking at your phone to see what time it is. But on that clock app, you have a timer, which you can use to tell how long you've spent on the task. And you have a stopwatch, which counts down for you. I recommend using the stopwatch for no more than 15 or 20 minutes for a specific task. And while you're doing that task, you do it dedicated, not multitasking. In other words, you spend 15 minutes cleaning a room or picking up random items. But figure out what you want to do for that 15 minutes and do it. If if you have extra time, you can do something else, but use that entire 15 minutes. You will be pleasantly surprised at what you can get done in 15 minutes. I wrote a whole book about it. I had a book on Amazon, Get It Together Girl, Organizing Your Home in 15 minutes a day. It works if you work it. Again, not 15 minutes when you're on the phone, when you're doing something else, but 15 dedicated minutes. Okay, so let's talk about the opposite of dedicated time, which is multitasking. Everybody, especially women, we love to talk about how well we multitask, except we really don't. If you're going to multitask successfully, you take something that doesn't require any thought and you pair it with something that does. So I can return phone calls while I'm walking my dog because walking my dog is pretty straightforward. So I can do that. If I'm attending a meeting that I have to pay attention to and I'm returning some important emails, I don't want to do both of those at the same time because one will suffer. Either my emails will get messed up or I'm not paying attention during the meeting. One of those is going to suffer. So be very careful multitasking. Let me tell you the history of the word. Multitasking as a concept has been around for a while, but the word itself started being used in the 90s. Not to talk about people, but to talk about computers. So if you have several items open on the taskbar of your laptop or your or your tablet, or you have several windows open on your phone, that's multitasking. Your computer can do two things at once. That's where the term started. It did not start for people. The way your brain works, you go between tasks. You don't do two tasks at once. You go very quickly between tasks, but you're moving between them. You're not doing them both at once. So do yourself a favor and really think about how you want to multitask and not lose perspective while you're doing it. So get up a half hour earlier, stay up a half hour longer, watch how you multitask, and make time management a game. For example, if I'm standing in line at Walmart, that's a good time to multitask. While I'm standing in line, I can return text messages, emails. I can check messages on my phone. If I'm driving my car, I need to pay attention to that, but I can listen to an audiobook very easily if I'm driving. So look for opportunities, especially when you pretty much have downtime. I'm waiting to see the doctor. I'm in the waiting room. I don't have to read those old magazines. I can go through my phone, and I read my Bible every day. So maybe this is a great time to read my Bible app. Maybe this is a good time to check in with a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a while. Use those downtimes to your advantage. And I would say the last thing that I would suggest is using another feature on your phone. And we talked about using the stopwatch, which counts down. Okay, you have 15 minutes to do this task. You now have 10 minutes left. You now have 8 minutes left. The other one, the timer goes up. Okay, something has been cooking for 10 minutes. Now it's been cooking for 15. So you want to use that to see how long you've been doing something. It's great for social media. Hi, TikTok. But you want to really look at how much time you're spending on social media. Use the timer function to see how much time you're spending, and then how much time you want to spend. Once you see how much time you're spending, maybe use the stopwatch to say, okay, I'm going to check my social media accounts for a half hour, and then I'm going to do something else. These are all ways that you can save time. As a life coach, whenever I've had people tell me they don't have enough time, I'm like, well, tell me what you do with your time. Keep track, keep a log of what you're doing every 15 minutes for one day, and I will find you an hour. It's that simple, because we're not using time to the best of our ability unless we make a mental note of using time to our best ability. So give me your time-saving hacks in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. Good night, good day, whatever it is, wherever you are.